happens.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, you couldn't have done any better than you've done, Shinaka. I have to ask, though, because Alex Jakes and Matt Gallagher were saying, I wonder what's going through his head now. A two-time world champion was right behind you. They had that moment where he was going around the outside, and you had the inside line, and you managed to get back. Were you a little bit nervous with Brendan just in your rear-view mirrors?
Well, I was, extremely nervous because obviously I had Marcel behind me at the start, and he's a great driver in himself. And then Brendan got into second, and he's the fastest car on the track and a two-time champion. And it's my job to try and keep him at bay. And he went for the dive and the hairpin with a few laps to go, and I managed to get him back. And I think that pushed him maybe into a bit of desperation going for the inters at the end, but I think it was the right call. Well, it was definitely the right call staying on the wets, and to hold him off, out of anyone is a great achievement for me. Well,
listen, Shinaka, go and be more calm and chill by the sounds of things with your voice. Go and enjoy
the win. Performance. Fantastic stuff. Well done.
Congratulations. Well, there you go. I mean, I tell you what, just chatting to Shinaka, I had sweaty palms before. Now I just feel relaxed. I'm like, he did everything he needed to do, and just seems so focused on he's done enough, he's done all he can, and now hopefully a team will pick him up for the next series.
And you know what, if they don't, he can record some meditation videos and recordings, because I would definitely fall asleep. That voice is just so calming.
Yeah, and however, two more drivers on the line at the same time. Lucas Brakely, as he's known now, and Marcel Kiefer. Gentlemen, first of all, I'll come to Lucas. You were there or thereabouts in the mix, managed to get second. What a Pro Exhibition series it's been for you.
Yes, I just mute myself when I don't have to speak.
Oh, OK. Well, we'll just come to Marcel in a second. Lucas, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was just trying to hear the question.
Lucas, listen, what a series it's been for you. Second in Baku, winning in Monaco. What did you make of today's race?
It's a nightmare, honestly. It's never easy. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I know I can't honestly believe the run of, results and stuff. But I mean, yeah, that race was really. I heard Shinaka's interview, and firstly, congrats to him as well. That was a unbelievable performance from him. To basically disappear from everybody as such. And I think he had like 8.9 seconds on me at the end. So. Fair play to him, congrats. But yeah, I mean, the car was terrible. I had a full dry setup on, thinking, the rain won't last long. And then it's the whole race. So, well, it was interesting to say the least. But yeah, we managed the end. And towards the end, it was really dicey as well, because the track was getting much drier and we were on the wets and they were completely overheated, super worn out. And wow, it was just trying to hang on to the end, honestly.
Well, you did it. You managed it, Lucas, which is correct. I have to say, Natty, you can see the body language of Marcel Kiefer, arms folded. I'm not sure if he can hear us now. Marcel.
You're still smiling. You're still smiling. Must be disappointed, though. Yeah. Just tell us about that contact at the end there.
Difficult. I think looking from my onboard, I thought like in the heat of the moment, like what the hell is he doing? But shortly after, when I've seen like the whole clip, I think it's maybe, I don't know, a bit more on Brendan than me, but no, I would just say racing incident, no need to put fingers on anyone. The race is anyways a show race and not for the championship. So in the end, it delivered the entertainment. Everyone is now debating about what's right, what's wrong. And I think that Brendan and me did a good job with that. So, yeah.
I mean, he says that, but it all matters, doesn't it? I mean, you're building towards the Pro Series later this year. How important are good performances now in light of that?
I mean, it's all right. Like, I'm happy with the performances, also considering the amount of practice that me and the team put in for these races, because in the first few races we were pushing a bit more than the final ones, just because of how the schedule went with all of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. But of course, it's a good push for the ego, like succeeding in these races. Also, well done from Lucas again for another podium. Good job, good consistency, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the Pro Series.
Yeah, as am I, Marcel. All the best to you. Congratulations, a fourth-place finish today. I just want to ask one final question to you, Lucas. I mentioned it before, second in Baku, second today, then you won in Monaco. Also, you finished third Interlagos for the Dutch Pro Exhibition. My question is to you, have you got enough in the tank to compete with the likes of David Tunitsa and potentially push on and win the championship?
Well, I mean, I think that's the goal of every driver here, is to push for the championship. But definitely, that's the objective, to try and push as hard as possible to keep up this performance, because as impromptu as these races have been, maybe if it's the word, is like sort of sudden they've all came up. It's been a really positive thing, to get out there and do some races, and it's been really. Honestly, it's very hard to ask for much more than has happened. So definitely, we just need to keep up this work, and hopefully, we can continue this into the Pro Series.
Well, listen, Lucas, Marcel, thank you very much to you, gentlemen. That is it for the end of the show, Natalie. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Alex Jakes, to Matt Gallagher. Hopefully, we'll see you, should be, later on in the year for the F1 Esports Pro Series. That is the Pro Exhibition done and dusted. We'll see you in a second for the virtual Grand Prix.
4-5 lights are on. It's all to race for. Coming to turn 4. Oh, he's hit him. He's done it. Oh, he's taken 2.
It's a Sunday, it's Interlagos, it's the Brazilian Grand Prix, and there are many, many reasons to smile as we head to round 20 of 21 in this 2019 Formula One season. It is the Brazilian Grand Prix here at Interlagos for the 37th time. And Sao Paulo in Brazil, which shares a border with all South American countries except for Chile and Ecuador, and the Brazilian flag, the only flag on the F1 calendar that doesn't have red as its colour. At this circuit, the Jose Carlos Pache circuit, he won here in 75 with Brabham. There's a wonderful statue right at the entrance that we pass every single day. It's a 2.67 mile circuit, 15 corners, 10 to the left and 5 to the right. There are 2 DRS zones, overtaking chances into turn 1 and into turn 4 and 5, Decido de Lago as well. It twists and it turns through the infield. It can be very tricky, and you've got to watch out when cars are trying to unlap themselves, as Esteban Ocon did to Max Verstappen last year and sent Verstappen crashing out of the lead. Here's Verstappen again, this time being passed by Lewis Hamilton, who made his way up from 20th on the grid in 2017 to eventually finish 4th. And to turn 12, is that Glock? And is that the 5th place that Lewis Hamilton needed to win the championship? Yes, yes, and very much yes it was, but it was a big no at Ferrari. They thought Massa had done it. He had for about 20 seconds. C1, C2 and C3, the tyre compounds, the medium about half a second slower a lap, the hard about a second and a half slower, but the high track temperatures could bring that
Mẹ hiểu, đương đầu từ
That's why we love it. Oh, it is a massive crash! What was that?
I lost control of the vehicle and hit the wall. There's nothing more to it than that.
Check the numbers, just keep pushing. This place is good. How are we doing? We have the fastest on track. They need to calm down.
Oh my goodness me! Villeneuve wins!
Bravissimo. That's an historical win.
That was a hell of a race. A hell of a race.
There we go. Indeed, we race on. Kind of misleading there. Sebastian Vettel with the champagne, with a GoPro on, which I think is odd. But however,
looked great.
It last year, controversial with the Hamilton situation.
Yes. Well, of course, those pictures were from 2018. But last year, as you say, he was leading the race. He was forced into a mistake by Lewis Hamilton. He rejoined the track. He got a controversial penalty, and it meant that he just couldn't keep that 5-second lead from Lewis Hamilton. It meant he was then relegated to second place. And there was a huge uproar from Sebastian, all of his fans, the Ferrari team, from most of the world who didn't want to see those kind of penalties applied. But yes, I mean, this circuit has seen such drama over the years. Probably my favourite race of all time in 2011, when Jenson Button came from the back to win the race win that he claimed to be the best of his career.
Yeah, it was incredible. The weather, the visibility was dry. In terms of a race, would you like to see a wet race today or better conditions for our drivers?
I mean, I'd love to see changeable conditions, because it is interesting to see how the drivers cope with those. And Jenson, the king of the changeable conditions, you know, I think that this race does throw lots of variables up, and the weather is one of them.
OK, or maybe a couple of groundhogs, as you told me earlier.
A couple of groundhogs! Just ask Anthony Davison. Back in 2007, he was running in third, and he finished 17th because a groundhog, or at the time he thought it was a beaver, collided with his car.
Well, listen, one of the exciting moments that I'm looking forward to when the season gets ahead and underway again is one of the most exciting prospects, Mr. Esteban Ocon, and I'm delighted to say he's joining us now. Esteban, great to have you on the show. Are you well?
I'm very good, thank you. I can hear you very badly, but otherwise, all fine, ready to go.
OK, I love the fact you're in your car at the moment. I see your Renault jacket in the background. I do want to say, obviously, with the F1 eSports and this virtual Grand Prix, have you been surprised at how successful and exciting it has been?
Yeah, it's been fantastic to watch, and great for me to be taking part of at some point in the Monaco Grand Prix. A shame what happened after, but definitely a way to keep ourselves busy, as well, we need to be hungry for competition. We want always to be fighting with the others, and it's been good, you know, to be racing with all the guys on different platforms for myself, and yeah, I mean, I love sim racing and since always, so it's been awesome.
I have to say, sorry, Natalie, I just wanted to check because we just saw some of the footage of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, which you obviously have done so well at. Is it a track that you enjoy racing?
Yeah, it's a track I really love, to be honest. One of the favorite ones of the calendar. It's been great. I've been quick there. Had some great fights. 2017 with Sebastian, with Sergio. 2018 as well. It's been very good each time I was on track there. So yeah, I can't wait to be back at some point. And the atmosphere in Canada, as a French driver, it's always awesome, and we always are very well welcome. So yeah, I can't wait to go back.
And talking of can't wait to get back, you having taken a year out of the sport, which obviously wasn't your choice, you must just be chomping at the bit to get back racing again. You are going to be in the car this week, not this year's car, but from 2018. You're going to be in Austria this week. Tell us about it.
Exactly. I'm leaving after tomorrow to get testing. We are testing on the 17th for myself, Daniel on the 16th. In Austria, so that's going to be our comeback in the 2018 car. Yeah, it's been so long, Natalie, I have to say, so it's great to hear from you guys there. It means that we are going to get back racing soon. But yeah, everything went wrong since I didn't find any seat last year. It's been so long, so I can't wait to now finally get back.
Yeah, I want to ask you about, Esteban, the winter testing in February. How was that for you?
Yeah, it's been good. I have to say, I learn every day. You know, myself with Daniel, I have a great benchmark in my team, which is fantastic. And the car was a good step up from the one I tested in Abu Dhabi in 2019. So I was definitely looking forward to drive it in Melbourne. Now it's going to be very different. Of course, we are going to have a lot of new parts when we are going to restart in Austria. The car I've developed, we didn't even test them, so that's even crazy. But yeah, it's even more exciting like this.
And what do you think about the rest of the season? Because it's obviously going to be concertinaed, packing loads of races in. We perhaps could see a few surprise results. Do you think?
Well, it's definitely going to be so important to perform each time we are going to be on track, because at the moment we are not seeing what the future is going to bring. So with the races we are going to see, it's going to be important to get the points straight away. And of course, the one who's going to be the most awake to start with is going to be the one who will perform the best. So definitely for us, it's going to be important the test this week, and then we need to be ready for the first race. But for sure, one race doesn't follow the other, even if it's the same track. So it's going to be very, very exciting, and it's going to be very important to perform well.
You mentioned, Esteban, about the fans in Montreal, the French fans that support you, and you feel kind of at home there. In terms of being a Frenchman and that pressure that's added to joining Renault, a French team, what's that like?
Well, the pressure's gone, I have to say, since I found an exciting challenge with a great team alongside me. So now I'm very happy to be racing for Renault F1. It's been a long time that we speak to each other. We've missed each other for many years as well. I was the reserve driver of the team in 2016. So yeah, finally we've found an agreement. I'm here for a couple of years. So yeah, the pressure has left me, and now I have to do only my job, which is the most important.
Which no doubt you will do very well indeed. We look forward to it.
Thank you.
Well,
thank you.
There you go, Esteban Ocon on the show, in his car at the moment. Just imagine he just puts blazing on the tunes now, just to enjoy himself a little bit. But obviously, we go into this race now. The format, it's the same as it has been with the virtual Grand Prix. We have an 18-minute qualification, some brilliant names to introduce to everybody tonight. 50% race, no damage. Driver assists are on, and there are, and it's put in bold for me, the strict track limits, which doesn't mean they won't be pushed to the limit, though, does it?
No, it doesn't. And yes,
penalties galore.
Apply that in real life. I tell you one thing that does limit the track limits, or the abusing the track limits, is that wall of champions. because you're not going through that anytime soon.
No, indeed. But in terms of, you mentioned him earlier, Ant Davidson.
Yes.
Let's have a look at the driver lineup.
Oh, yes, he's driving again tonight, isn't he? Good stuff.
Because this is quite exciting, because we have some content creators from the world of the sim racing and the F1 game by Codemasters. Arava joins us, the Arava YouTuber content creator. I'm excited about that. Simon Neal, Biffy Clyro, vocalist. Now, he's been getting a bit of help from a few people.
He has indeed. So the deal was, quid pro quo, he would give Danny Kvyat some guitar lessons in exchange for racing tips. So that's what they've been doing. I tell you what, I'd love to learn from both of them on both that skill set. So, you know, yeah, keep an eye on him.
Indeed. Pierre Gasly there, the AlphaTauri F1 driver, made his debut last week in Baku, finished P12. And then we move on, there's Anthony Davidson, as you can see there, driving for Mercedes. Interesting enough, you've got Guan Yu Zhou, who is back. He won back in Bahrain, and obviously going to be pushing George Russell, because that man down in the bottom corner of your screens, tonight has won 3 back-to-back races. He's going to be pushed there by some drivers who want to get the sort of bragging rights of winning the last
Well,
race.
yes, he won in Spain, Monaco and Azerbaijan, as you say. He's 22 points in the championship. Unfortunately, Charles Leclerc isn't racing tonight, but he definitely wants to go for 4 wins on the bounce and remind everyone just how talented he is.
And we also welcome, as you can see, some of the drivers on the screen at the moment, just getting ready, warmed up. Kaio Collet, the Renault, finished season with excitement because they're in the Enstone Renault factory tonight racing. So you've got Guan Yu Zhou and Kaio Collet joining us and racing, hopefully being able to push it to the limit and put George Russell under a lot of pressure.
Absolutely. And Nicholas Hamilton back as well. Great to see him there. But as we've seen from the eSports series, the race that we've just had, the grid can be incredibly mixed up. The weather may be changeable as well, so anything could happen.
Indeed. Well, listen, we've had some celebrities, former drivers, and His Serene Highness Prince Albert of Monaco give well wishes to our drivers. Well, tonight is no different. Chase Carey, the CEO of Formula One, has had a few words to pass on.
Hi, I'm Chase Carey, the CEO of Formula One. First and foremost, we hope everybody has been managing this difficult and challenging time, and our thoughts go out to the individuals and their families who've been directly affected by the coronavirus. At Formula One, we've missed racing on the track the last 3 months, but we've been thrilled to have our virtual Grand Prix fill the void. We've had some great virtual races, and I want to take this opportunity to thank the teams, the Formula One drivers, the other participants, and really everybody behind the scenes who made it possible. We look forward to returning to the track in early July in Austria, and look forward to a great 2020 Formula One season ahead of us. But in the interim, we hope you enjoy one more virtual. Thank you very much and all the best.
So there you go, Chase Carey, great to have his words out. And I don't know if you noticed, the F1 eSports trophy was just behind him. Back at the end, well, before the end of the year, we're back in the Gfinity Arena. So our professional sim racers, our eSports drivers, will be competing for that. But going back to tonight, last week, Natalie, we had an on-board look with Valtteri Bottas going around Baku. Tonight, we go to Montreal Circuit with the DHL fastest lap winner, Kerry G. Natalie, if we could talk through those moments or areas to look forward to in this very exciting Canada circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the Canadian circuit is a series of straights and chicanes. It's on a man-made island, the Notre Dame Island, in the middle of the St. Lawrence River, so it's unique in that respect. You're going to have to get a boat to work. It's 70 laps of a 4.361 kilometre circuit. It's a high-speed track, lots of overtaking opportunities. Cars need to be able to ride the curbs and not lose time through those chicanes. And much like Monaco, it has concrete walls that will punish mistakes. So you don't want to be making those mistakes. And the big one, of course, is that Wall of Champions, and named aptly so because of back in 1999,
Formula One drivers,
Damon Hill, Michael Schumacher and Jacques Villeneuve all came a cropper. And in more recent years, Nico Rosberg, Carlos Sainz, Jenson Button, Sebastian Vettel and Kevin Magnussen also have problems at that stage of the racetrack. Actually, I asked Damon just before we came on air about the Wall of Champions, and he gave me this great quote. He said, "It has no attraction for me. I, on the other hand, was very attracted to it. Much to my relief, I wasn't the only one. It seemed to like Champions rather a lot, but it is very impartial. It will take anyone who does not respect it." So, and it also stops arguments over track limits too, a point I alluded to earlier.
Oh, brilliant. Well, as we saw there, Kerry G winning the fastest lap time. That time, though, just to point out to any sim fans out there, is on career mode. So there's been a bit of tinkering with the car to make it go at that speed. However, always up to speed are our commentators for tonight. Alex Jakes, Matt Gallagher. Gentlemen, what's the view like up there in the arena?
It's pretty good. It's been pretty good all the way through this fantastic event that we've seen for the last few weeks, and I'm pretty sure that car could fly by how quickly it was going. That was ridiculous.
Matt, obviously our eSports expert when it comes to that sort of track time. In terms of the cars that are going to be out there, not maybe setting that sort of fast time.
No, absolutely not. And if they are, they're going to get a slap on the wrists from me for track limits, which we love to talk about as much. I'm still also recovering from your three-peat gag at the start of the show, but that's fine. Just about getting there.
Indeed. And obviously, gentlemen, it's been a real treat to watch all of the drivers compete in this. But tonight, George Russell is going to have a bit of a target on his back.
He is. He's been the benchmark for a long time now. It started off with Charles Leclerc, and then he's just taken a step forward. And to be honest, no one's really been able to live with him. So I think there's a few in the field, though, that will be desperate to interrupt this winning run.
Well, I expect a few surprises. Natalie and myself will be down here at the desk. I'll pass it over to you, gentlemen, to take us through qualification.
Thank you very much indeed. Let's go straight to qualification, already in progress then with George Russell, the driver to beat. There we are. We didn't know that was coming, but it was a fairly good bet. Esteban Gutierrez has been very strong last couple of races as well, always on the podium, and he is there right now. But what a lap from Colette and Joe, both of those drivers racing next to each other at Enstone, at the factory, and they are third and fourth right now with 6 minutes to go of this 18-minute session.
I was kind of hoping that George Russell's car would be weighted down, or, you know, have one less wheel or something, just something to slow him down, because he is just unbelievably quick at this game. He's had the training from the Williams eSports guys, Javier Guerra, one of the guys that's very much in charge of the eSports drivers there. Whatever tips that they've been giving him, he's very much absorbed, digested, and then just can put it on the track. 107.6 is rapid. I'd be very, very surprised if anybody can beat him to pole position. We've got 5 minutes 43 seconds remaining, which means, depending on where they are, half the guys are still in the pits, a few people on outlaps, maybe 2 more attempts from everyone.
So a chance to get further up the order, but George Russell with a handy gap, and you'd have to say a bit of a grasp on pole position at the moment. Alex Albon will want to do better than that. He won earlier in the year at the Brazilian racetrack that we went to. Nicholas Latifi has taken part in every single race. He's in 7th position, and Anthony Davidson going very nicely there as we tick into the final 5 minutes of the session. We always like to bring you an interview during this qualifying session, and we've got a corker for you today at the final virtual Grand Prix. Gunther Steiner, the Haas team boss, is going to join us now to give us his thoughts. And Gunther, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. How have recent weeks been for you as a team principal, trying to get everything prepared for this return to racing and 8 races in 10 weeks? You know what? I don't think Gunther's... He's stunned by the quality of that question.
That question was top-notch.
That was incredible, wasn't it?
A-star.
Gunther, can you hear us?
I can hear you very well, but the background I cannot understand what they're saying. I can hear noises, but not understand what is said.
Okay,
let's try. I can hear you very well.
Let's try again, Gunther. Number one, how are you? Are you doing well under what have been some difficult circumstances?
Yeah, thank you for asking. Yeah, I'm doing well, fortunately. So just working hard, but as you say, the circumstances are not the nicest ones, but we're keeping head above water.
Gunther, great to have you on the show. Do you think the exceptional circumstances of this season could give the midfield pack an opportunity to disrupt the big three?
That will be difficult because after Australia, after the Barcelona test, I think all the midfield teams didn't change a lot on their cars. They just try to survive like us, you know. So I don't think we can challenge the big one, but hopefully we can challenge each other, which will make it interesting as well this season in the midfield.
We're looking at one of your cars on track at the moment. You've had two great representatives in Pietro Fittipaldi and Louis Delatraz. What have you made of their performances in this virtual Grand Prix series?
I think they're doing pretty well. You know, I think Louis won also the 24 Hours of Le Mans, obviously not in our car, but they are racing as much as they can. And Pietro had the pole position in Monte Carlo. So I'm pretty happy with them. You know, I think it's very competitive out there in the virtual world for them.
And a former Haas driver as well in P2 at the moment, just behind George Russell. Just finally from you, Gunther, give us a prediction for this season. Are Haas going to be rock stars this year?
Or what is the other option? Can you tell me that one?
I'm not sure, but I think I might get fired if you tell us.
We don't want to get fired. No, back to your question. I don't know. It's difficult to say. The strange thing is we tested in Barcelona, and it seems years away that we tested. So the midfield was very close together, and hopefully we can shake up something a little bit. But it will be a difficult season because of the circumstances. With the long break, unexpected break, everything, we had to turn everything off. For financial reasons, and now we started again, obviously, to be ready for the season. But it will be tough in there. Hopefully, we rock a little bit.
Well, good luck for the season ahead. It's going to be super intense. We wish you and the team the very best. And thanks for joining us for this final virtual Grand Prix.
Thank you, and good luck to you guys. Thank you. Bye.
Great to hear from Gunther Steiner there. Thankfully, we didn't hear all the options for certain answers.
What an absolute legend.
He's always great value, and we appreciate his time. Right now, to the nearest challenger for pole position. You're on board with Esteban Gutierrez, and he is trying to close down this gap as we tick down into the final section. Stuck in second gear at the moment. Yellow flags out there for the time being. Let's get a prediction out of you, Matt. Can he close down that gap to George Russell?
I mean, my actual brain is saying no. My entertainment and race fan is saying yes.
Your commentary brain is saying yes.
George Russell, the only person in the 1:07s at the moment. I think Esteban can definitely get within that. I don't really know what he's doing in second gear at the moment. Just trying to take his time to probably start his lap as late as possible. Although he wants to be taking that last chicane a bit quicker than that, if I'm being completely honest with you. So I would imagine he's lost a little bit of time going towards turn one. But half a second to make up is a huge margin around such a small track as well. Let's see if he can do it as we take a look at Nicholas Hamilton.
Yeah, Nicholas Hamilton going across the chicane there and in 17th position. And we're into the business end of this qualifying session then. George Russell's 1:07.6 the time to beat. Esteban Gutierrez on a lap trying to get on terms. Nicholas Latifi at his home